Hi. For a while now I've wanted to buy one of a CNC router, and I've finally taken the plunge and I've bought one of the 6040 CNCs, the shoddy Chinesian ones, and when I was looking to buy them I was trying to find an unboxing video that actually showed you them unboxing it and seeing what was actually inside the boxes you got. So I couldn't really find one. I found a lot of little different ones where they didn't really outline what came in it and what came in the box, because I want to know, or I wanted to know, what I needed to buy along with the router to make sure I could get it up and running. Whether it came with a water pump for the water-cooled spindle, whether it came with the tubing for the spindle, whether it came with the serial connection, the actual wire, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I haven't opened it yet, it's just arrived today, so let's open it and have a look. Right then, so I'm going to overdub this because I was just witching away like a maniac, and the video got extremely long, or this clip did anyway. So just opening it up here, and it weighs quite a lot actually for extruded aluminium. I was expecting it was going to be a lot lighter weight than this. Very rigid, quite thick extrusions. The one thing I did notice was that the cutting of the ends was absolutely fine, but you can see here I'm pointing out they've drilled some holes in the ends to secure it to the bed, and they weren't oval, they were like a figure of 8, almost like they'd drilled over the like some sort of template and got in there. So that needs some deburring. You can see here it came with a plug. More than likely going to throw that in the bin because it's probably going to be quite thin and it won't be able to handle the amount of power it pulls. Well, it might do, but not worth risking it, and there's loads of them kicking around anyway. That's the controller you can see there. It's not the one that was actually on the picture, so that's one thing to look out for. The one on the picture of the auction and in all the description was completely different to this. But the build quality is really good. It's a good weight, and the fit and finish of it's quite good as well. They haven't got very good reviews online, so at some point in the future I'll more than likely upgrade to a Gecko or something similar. And there was this box here I didn't know it came with, so none of this was listed in the auction at all. It just said it came with the controller and the spindle and the bed. So here you can see we've got a pump with a Euro fitting on it, and then I'm just witching on here about these adapters, which are death adapters. You can plug the plug in anyway, and then the pins, you can see that I'm pointing to it, just become live. We got some mill bits at the end, so various selection of double and quadruple fluted mill bits, going from 1 mil all the way up to 6 mil, and 2 of each, so that's good. Again, it didn't list that in the auction, so I ended up bloody buying them, but you can never have too many spares. There was some PTFE tape, believe it or not. I bought some of that. I did have some, but I thought I'd buy some extras, and also there was the serial connector for the PC, which it didn't list, and again I bought, so it's come with all that. Now I'm just going through all these clamps. It came down with the clamp down, so we've gone past that bit now, but just back there you would have seen me pull out the clamps that actually hold the workpiece down to the bed. And I think it came with 20 of them in total, which was impressive. I didn't expect it to come with any at all. Again, it wasn't listed, but there you go. I don't know why you'd need 20 of them, but there we are. After using them for a while, they're not perfect, and I'll probably be changing them. But for free, you can't complain. So here we're just taking out the gantry, and you can see there it's packaged really well. That's one thing I would say about it. The packaging was incredible. Plyboard to protect things, and they've made little boxes to go over the stepper motors, and the foam that came with it is extremely thick. So yeah, that's all good, and I'll tell you one thing, it's got some gravity in it. It's extremely heavy, it's solid construction. Now here I'm just going on because 2 parcels came and I thought that was going to be all of it, and I was suspicious, but it wasn't. So we'll move on to the next clip where the next parcel came. Right, so the next parcel arrived with a different courier because it was so big and extremely heavy, and this is the base. I realised I haven't said yet in here which model this is. I think I did, I can't remember now, so I'll say anyway. So it is a 1.5 kilowatt water-cooled spindle, and again, another thing that I didn't mention was in that last video, I bought the tubing as well to cool the spindle because it didn't say it came with it, but it did. So the whole tale of this video basically is that they don't list what it comes with, and they're sort of selling themselves short, because one of the things that put me off it was that I knew I'd have to buy all the extra kit and bits and bobs for it, but it came with absolutely everything. The only thing you'd need to get this up and running, apart from what came with the parcel and the delivery, was the computer to control it, obviously the keyboard and mouse and monitor. So I'm really quite happy with that. A lot more than I expected, although I did spend more than I needed to because I ended up buying a lot of it. Again, really well packaged, and I'll say once more, it is incredibly heavy, this unit. Very, very heavy and extremely sturdy. No play or wobble in it at all. It's all come greased up and everything good to go, so even in storage it'd be good for a while. So you wouldn't have to worry about buying one that's old stock that's been sitting around, well greased and oiled. Which is comes off with a quick wipe of WD-40. Now, I haven't mentioned either how much it's cost me, so it was a best offer. I got it for £830 UK pounds with £50 postage, and that was from Germany, just so I didn't have to pay the import fees. But that worked out probably only £20 more than if I'd bought it direct from China, and obviously without the risk of paying import duty. So yeah, there we go, we've got it all. And now I didn't do an assembly video because there's plenty of them, but we'll just move on to having a quick review of the machine.
You know when you record a video and then you play it back and you look at yourself and you don't realise how much you say a certain word, and this is the second time I'm going to make this video, though this clip in this video, because the last one I said the word about 56 times. It's ridiculous. Whew. Anyway, so it's the day after the day after the day after that it got delivered, and it's all assembled now. I'd say it took about 10-15 minutes to put it together because it's extremely easy. It comes pretty much fully assembled. Let's try and get it in frame. They arm off again. So and again, so you get the base, and again I can't stop saying so you get the base, then you get the gantry, which is this bit here. This bit is made out of solid aluminium. It's really, really, really sturdy. I can't get over how sturdy it is. It's something I was worried about a lot, that the play of the actual machine would mean it's not too accurate or something like that, because it's one of these cheap Chinese ones. But I had nothing to be worried about. Fears allayed, I tell you. So it didn't take too long to put together. It didn't take long to wire up. It's literally 4 wires into the back and then a parallel into the PC. Now, the router came with everything. The auctions never list what's in them. I'm pretty sure I said that in a separate clip in this video. But this one came with everything, absolutely everything, and everything has been really good, top notch. I know there's some comments on forums about the wires aren't shielded and they wear out quick, but obviously I don't know what that's like yet because I've only been running it for a day or two. And I've done a couple of projects on it and I'm really happy. In fact, I'm over the moon how good quality it is. It's much better than I thought it was going to be. Happy days. So the machine itself is really good. The spindle controller and the CNC controller, which is this bit here, is absolutely top notch. The reviews online say they're poor, and I'm sure they are poor, so I'm more than likely going to upgrade to a Gecko, but at the moment for what I'm doing it's more than ample. So I'm going to try and turn the screen around because the battery's going flat and hope it saves some of the battery. So that's really good. So with the purchase, I've got absolutely everything I needed. I've got spindles, pipes, cables, pump, CNC controller, even router bits and clamp downs for the table. And I even got this scrap wood that I've bolted to the top here. So all in all, I'm really, really happy with the purchase. Over the moon. I've done some cuts with it. So this one here I did today, took about 4 hours, but it took 4 hours because I was tinkering with it. I think now I've got all the settings laid out in my mind and stuff, this would take about half an hour, 40 minutes to cut, if not even faster, even including the tool changes. This was the first thing I cut. First cut, hello world, and then the date, so 30th of the 8th, 2017. And that's absolutely spot on, I tell you. It was so impressive, and it took seconds to get that laid out on ArtCam. So happy with ArtCam, even more happy with the router's performance. The only thing in the pack that I'm not happy with is the pump. So the pump that came with it doesn't say how many litres an hour it is, but by the size of it and from my limited knowledge of hydroponics setups in my garden, in my greenhouse, it's quite a hefty pump, but it just doesn't seem to be able to pump enough water to keep the spindle cool. And luckily, like you saw I think in a previous clip, I'd bought one thinking it didn't come with one, so that's the only thing I've swapped out from what came in the actual packaging. There it is, there's a new one I bought. And yeah, absolutely everything you need to get going is included in it, apart from the PC, the monitor, the mouse and the keyboard obviously. But these things are 10 a penny because you need an old one. So I'm running it on Windows XP, which was a fucking nightmare to install because I wanted to do a dual boot. So this has got a dual boot, Windows 7 and also Windows 10 and XP on the same hard drive, which was a nuisance to set up, but it's going now. So that's all fine. I don't know why I installed Windows 10 on it, but I did. I think I had this idea of making some kind of media centre in the garage that I could listen to music to, but I could do that on XP, so yeah. I'm saying home again. But yeah, overall impressions of the machine are really good. If we move over quickly and hope the battery stays on long enough, this spindle is rock solid. You cannot move it. You can see it shaking, but that's the actual table itself. There's no play in it whatsoever. I haven't measured the run out yet, but I'll do that in another video of the actual end mill. But from doing all this, which is multiple passes and multiple layers, they all matched up absolutely perfectly, and it's on quite a big piece, so you'd be able to tell. But there's nothing to be worried about at all in terms of how quick you can chuck out the material. I mean, that's the fastest I've got it set at the moment. I can't remember the actual feeds and speeds on that, but it gives you an idea because it's real time. Saying this took about 4 hours. By the time I got to the end and I'd been fiddling with the speeds, I didn't actually want to make this, by the way. It's a bit gaudy for me. This is just an art cam project off YouTube that I sort of followed along with to work out how to lay things out and do multiple passes at different levels and offsets and bits and bobs. By the time I got to the end of this, it's a 15mm piece of pine. The final piece, which was the cutout, took about under a minute to do in 2 passes. So that was hunking out 8mm at a time, so 8mm depth, and that was the full width of the cutter, so 6mm, so 6mm bit I had now because I bought some extra ones. So 6mm wide, at 8mm deep. Absolutely chucked the material out, didn't stress at all, and that's at that speed. Visual reference only, no numbers. Yeah, really happy with it. I'll do some more videos in the coming days and weeks, hopefully. And for anyone that watches the channel regularly, I do apologise there hasn't been more videos, but just, yeah, you know, you get into these zones. I'll try and do an update on the greenhouse and stuff lately. And I think in a past video I mentioned that I didn't ever have a problem with spider mites, which jinxed me because now I have an incredibly bad problem with spider mites in there. But anyway, before we go, I'll put on some videos of me cutting all these bits and bobs out and give you an idea of, I don't know, just what the machine can do in very limited terms. And yeah, so thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye!